Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video as I do this on a dark and stormy night. And in fact, just a little bit of background. Usually with this webcam, I have it plugged in, but this series of videos are going to do, I'm going to use the battery. That way, if power goes out, even for a few minutes, I don't lose anything. So, but hey, maybe that'll work for the Halloween season. So we'll see. But in this, Ryan wanted me to do. He had sent in a paid request for me to watch 2 episodes of Bojack Horseman. So that's what I'm doing. Thank you so much, Ryan. Thank you. I know you have a few more to get to. I'll get to them when I can. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, movie reviews, re-reviews, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, tier list, rankings, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in info box, and I will get to them as soon as I possibly can. So, Bojack Horseman. This is a show I had heard of. I'd heard of the show, seen pictures, but never actually sat down and watched it. But I know it went for a couple seasons, I believe 6 of them, on Netflix from 2014 to I guess 2020. I guess one of those things that the creators asked, hey, can you let us know when we're ready to be done? So they were able to create a finale, which that's nice. I mean, for people who are fans of the show, that you did at least some kind of nice payoff. But it's a cartoon with the voices of Will Arnett, Alison Brie, and Aaron Paul. Will Arnett, I've definitely seen in quite a few films. Of course, he was in the Michael Bay produced Ninja Turtle movies. He's been in a ton of other stuff. Aaron Paul was in Breaking Bad. And let me just start off with, I liked these 2 episodes for what they were. It was interesting. It wasn't hilarious to me. Although, funny enough, I read that apparently the people felt the first season was the weaker one, and it got better as it went on, so that's interesting. But the premise is fun. You know, it's a world where anthropomorphic animals and humans coexist. Our lead, Bojack Horseman, was a 90s sitcom star of a show called Horsing Around. And the sitcom was, these kids were orphans and this horse became their new dad. And, a lot of horse puns. So I kind of like that. He's like a washed up 90s sitcom star. And he's in this pit of his life where he likes to rewatch his old show. Laugh at the jokes in the show. Hey. Oh, hey, I love hey, you know. He was doing an interview with Charlie Rose, and he was saying stuff like, oh, it's a kick in the urethra. Or am I not supposed to say that? While I probably, as least of these 2 episodes, he does fine. I'm just saying I probably would have preferred someone other than Will Arnett, because it feels like I've seen Will Arnett in other stuff. I would like a different, more unique voice, but he does fine. The other characters, there's his ex-girlfriend, who is also his agent. There's this guy, played by Aaron Paul, this human, who just never left his apartment and just keeps eating and taking over his stuff. And we're introduced to this ghostwriter. And by the end, she's another human. She becomes the ghostwriter because our lead wants to do an autobiography. He hasn't been doing it, and this company's like begging because their company's ready to go down the tubes if they don't have one big hit. And it is a show, thanks because it's Netflix, it's a little bit more on the adult side. Granted, nothing over the top. You don't see titties or anything, so it's not like Fritz the Cat where you don't see a bunch of, animal titties. Now, I don't know if that's later on in the show, but as of now. But I mean, you do have characters having sex. Like, there's a flashback where the ex-girlfriend's getting mad at him. He's like, why? And there's like a flashback of him, a girl writing him, what? I thought we were on a break or something like that. There's also a character who was kind of a rival back in the days of sitcom, a Labrador dog, anthropomorphic, named Peanut Butter, and he has this very like upper mood, happy-go-lucky guy. Hey, how's it going, buddy? Which just makes our lead character more mad about him. about him. And it's a nice way to set things up. I mean, it's a way. That's the thing with you do pilots or first episodes. You have a lot of work to do. You have to set up the world. You have to set up the jobs. You have to set up the situation. You have to set up the characters, who they are, how they corroborate with each other, and it's fun enough as a watch. It's interesting enough that makes me intrigued for what's in the future. I would say the funniest joke for me was the last joke where he finds out that his rival, the Labrador, and the Ghost Rider are boyfriend and girlfriend, and the way the lead character's like, you two are together. You have sex with her. You have sex with him. That penis has been in that vagina. But in a sexual way. Like, I thought that was really funny. I thought that was really good. So I did like that. I thought that was a funny joke. So I didn't mind the first episode. You know, the animation, the I wouldn't say dry, like sometimes I wouldn't say dry demeanor of the lead character, but he's not like a wacky, crazy character. Far, far from it. There's not a lot of big slapstick scenes. So compared to like The Simpsons or Family Guy, it definitely seems more drier than those. But then you have episode 2, where it was kind of funny how it starts off where our lead character goes to a bar and this woman keeps hassling him, so he yells at her and says all this stuff. Even though you're a pretty woman, but so all she could think of is, you think I'm pretty? So they go home to bed, have sex. The next morning, I like that she says, I'm going to tweet all about the weird stuff you do in bed. Because it seems like what something would do. Someone would do that kind of shit. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Someone would do that stupid shit. I like throughout the episode, the rival, the Labrador, Peanut Butter, he has his reality show called Peanut Butter and Jelly, and I liked how the lead actor's making fun of him. How's the jelly? Well, where's the jelly part? You need to have a person named Jelly or something. See, even they didn't like that. Even they're mad at that. Even God is mad at that. Even God is agreeing with Bojack Horseman, saying, what the fuck, how's it could be called Peanut Butter and Jelly when there ain't no fucking jelly? He's like, is there a person named Jelly? No, it's a working title. I like the lead character's response. Well, it can work harder. It's a working title. Well, it should work harder. I like that line. So the gist of the episode is there's these muffins the lead character wants. This other character wants it. It's a seal. I'm sure that's a play on words because he was in the military SEAL, as in Navy SEAL. But I don't think technically he was in Navy SEALs, but I think that's the point, is that he's a SEAL. So what, Navy SEAL? I don't think anyone says that though, but I'm sure that maybe that was the idea. But anyway, granted, Bojack Horseman didn't do anything wrong. The muffins were like on top of like oranges and whatever. Oh, I'll get them. Or he'll think about it. Wait, those are mine. What? What do you mean? I called dibs. What do you mean you called dibs? These are on oranges or whatever the fuck it was. Fruit. Why did I put them in and I had to go to the bathroom? And even Bojack was right. He's like, but you didn't even have them in a cart, dude. Well, those are mine. Well, maybe I want them. And the seal was a dick. Like, the seal was a dick, and he didn't get a comeuppance. And that was that's one thing I did not like about the episode. I would say I liked the first episode more than this. One of the reasons is that the seal is such a dick and he doesn't get a comeuppance, and that was annoying to me. So then he has a little bit of cancel culture in there where the seal, you find out, was in the military and made this big crybaby deal that got on the news. So then Bojack calls in, which he shouldn't have, and he reads in the riot ad, and so then people think he's anti-military and stuff. So he's just doing a take on cancel culture, which I think that's actually kind of interesting to do if this was around 2014. This is before it really became a common thing. We do get to learn a little bit more about his childhood, where his dad was very harsh on him. He made like a little heart thing for Dad. It's like, this ain't nothing, you slacked off. Now, granted, I thought that I did probably the stuff between Bojack and the rival Peanut Butter, where the guy keeps making fun of the name of his reality show. That was probably some of the more funnier parts. I think the thing with the seal, just because, it's not a likable character. He doesn't get his comeuppance, like I said, kind of pissed me off. It's showing a little bit of the backstory. I'm sure maybe there's going to be more that fluctuates with that, but not so much told. I mean, we learn a little bit more, but I don't know much more is played into that later on with the rest of the show, as he does start to open up a little bit with the Ghost Rider by the end of it. There's this bit where Aaron Paul says, "Well, why? I couldn't find any more muffins. Here's some old hamburger buns. Just give him that. He won't notice." And so the guy knows he can't do it, so he makes up this big speech, which I guess gets interpreted of, yes, he respects the military, whatever. And I don't know, something about that fell flat to me. I don't know. Maybe because I'm sitting there going, you know what? He should not be the one apologizing, and he wasn't entirely in the wrong, and this other guy doesn't take any responsibilities for his actions or for his pissiness or his fucking attitude. What's funny about that is I was curious to look up some stuff about the show, and there was a list where they ranked all the episodes, and this episode was ranked last. So now, I don't know how everybody would feel about that, but I just think it's funny that this episode was, one of the first episodes I watched. Well, I guess it makes sense. It's the second episode, so of course it's one of the first episodes I watched. But this ranked as the last. But I will say this: if this is the weakest or one of the weakest episodes, then it can't be that bad of a show. Because I didn't hate it. I didn't hate the episode. It's not one I rewatch again. Again, the first one was a little bit more intriguing. I think the 90s sitcom, like that backdrop and that that setup was more interesting to me. And that's the thing when you look at a TV show, is that sometimes a show needs to kind of dust off the cobwebs before they really get the train going, before they really get out of the tunnel and really get on that journey to its destination. You look at the first season to a lot of shows, there's some rough. I mean, I love the X-Files, and I like the pilot, but there's some rough episodes in season one. The one that was it season one? Space? The one that's supposed to be a take on the Face on Mars, and it's a ghost, and that's a really shitty fucking episode. So you ever feel like that, every first season, there's some, what the fuck? But, again, it wasn't awful or anything. I thought the woman at the beginning that he went to bed with, I thought she was going to play a bigger part later on. With the whole tweeting thing. I don't tweet about all the weird stuff you do in bed. I thought something was going to come back to the fold with that. Other than she was there the next day and, you haven't taken me home yet. But I thought like later on in the episode, in terms with the seal thing, there was something going to be dealing with that. But nah, nothing really. So that was a bit disappointing. Other than that, okay, I did find it funny that a character did do something. She just happened to be happened to be named Jelly, and the way that the peanut butter guy loses his mind. Oh my god, you got that right. Like that character seems a bit interesting, and from what I understand, he does become a bigger part of the show later on. That peanut butter character, that he was created as just a foil to the beginning, a foil for the lead, but they actually do a bit more with that. Wish I didn't appreciate that. I think that could be interesting. But with that said, I think overall I did like it. I didn't mind it. That's funny. As soon as I say that, God has calmed down. So go figure. Maybe he thinks, maybe that's a sign going, yes, it does get better. The thunder's gone. It does get better. Don't worry. If this is the worst, it gets better, son. I'm like, okay, thank you. Nice to know. And no one's have to battle. But yeah, these two episodes didn't mind it. Again, the first I like more than the second. I'm curious about the world this encapsulates. I'm intrigued by the premise. Will there be more? I don't know. If not, no worries. If so, it was cool to at least get a taste of it. So, what say you? Are there any hardcore fans of Bojack Horseman? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now. There we go.